Get ready to uncover the secrets behind 10 of the biggest financial scandals in modern history. Real cases, real billionaires wrapped in luxury lies and devastating consequences. These stories reveal how greed, disguised as success, can seduce and destroy. If you thrive on exposing the darkest truths behind money, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Here, truth always finds the light. We begin with a name that became synonymous with fraud. Bernie Madoff, the former NASDAQ chairman, orchestrated the largest Ponzi scheme ever recorded, promising steady returns to celebrities, foundations, and retirees. The scam? Over $65 billion. His arrest not only exposed the scope of the crime, but also how the financial world turns a blind eye when profits are flowing. Madoff's legacy became a symbol of how even the most respected can cloak deep corruption in a tailored suit. It wasn't just a fraud, it was an indictment of an entire system that rewards perception over truth. Even now, Madoff's scheme is studied as the ultimate example of how regulatory blind spots can embolden the boldest. Liars next is Elizabeth Holmes, founder of Theranos, who promised blood testing with just a single drop. Black turtlenecks, a deep voice, comparisons to Steve Jobs, it was all a facade. The technology never worked. Doctors were misled. Patients' lives were put at risk. Valued at $9 billion, the company disintegrated. Holmes deceived investors. Like Rupert Murdoch and Henry Kissinger, her rise and fall exposed the dark side of Silicon Valley, where charisma often outweighs data. Her trial brought forward a new era of scrutiny toward tech startups and the culture of fake it till you make it. Silicon Valley was forced to confront its addiction to narratives over numbers. Then came Enron, the energy giant of the early 2000s, which manipulated financial statements with the help of Arthur Andersen. As shareholders celebrated fabricated profits, executives pocketed millions in bonuses. When the fraud came to light, it was too late. Bankruptcy, prison, and the collapse of one of the world's largest corporations. Enron's case led to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, forever changing corporate governance in the U.S. more than a corporate failure. It was a collapse of trust. It served as a grim reminder that unchecked ambition can rot even the most powerful institutions from within. Its fallout sent shockwaves across boardrooms worldwide. Truong My Lan in Vietnam proved greed knows no borders. A real estate tycoon, she siphoned $12.5 billion from a state bank. Her case was so extreme it ended in a death sentence, a grim milestone in financial crime. She manipulated loans, transferred money between shell companies, and used political shields for protection. The scale of the fraud demanded unprecedented federal intervention. Her story is now a case study in how systemic corruption can flourish in shadows until it spills into daylight. Her conviction rattled regional markets and cast doubt over Southeast Asian banking integrity. Wirecard in Germany was the fintech of the future, allegedly holding billions in Asian accounts. But those funds never existed. It was all smoke and mirrors. The company collapsed, the CEO was jailed, and the CFO vanished. The scandal even touched German intelligence, showing how blind trust in tech can lead to disaster. Offshore accounts and crypto-based laundering were uncovered. The public's faith in fintech was never the same. In retrospect, Wirecard's glossy image was a meticulously crafted mirage fueled by regulatory gaps and media complicity. The case forced European regulators to rethink digital financial oversight. In Brazil, Americanas, one of the country's largest retailers, faced a $4 billion accounting black hole in 2023. Suppliers were unpaid, investors lost millions, and the brand was forever stained. It proved even the most traditional companies can conceal monstrous secrets. Investigations exposed cooked books, systemic manipulation, and the silence of major financial institutions. The scandal reverberated through the stock market, igniting calls for reform in Brazil's corporate transparency laws. It raised uncomfortable questions about the independence of auditors and the accountability of corporate boards. Gleidson Ocasio, self-dubbed Pharaoh of Bitcoin, lured believers, celebrities, and everyday people with promises of absurd profits. His company, Gas Consultoria, claimed 10% monthly returns. It was a pyramid. Arrested with millions in cash, luxury cars, and a gold-plated home, he became a symbol of Brazil's vulnerability to get-rich-quick schemes. The case still unfolds, with new leads emerging globally. It exposed the deep connection between religious rhetoric and financial manipulation, as many victims were convinced they were part of a divine financial mission. The emotional scars of this fraud still haunt its victims. In a bizarre twist, Avestru's master sold investment contracts in ostriches, promising returns from bird farming. It amassed millions until revealed as a pyramid scheme. The birds were a front. Celebrities endorsed it, events were lavish, and thousands were duped. A glaring example of how even absurd concepts can mask elaborate fraud. The case demonstrated how illusion and spectacle can override critical thinking in a society hungry for easy profits. It serves as a cultural snapshot of an era defined by illusion over inquiry. Then there was Boy Gordo, claiming profits from cattle fattening. With guaranteed returns, it raised over $2 billion. When it crashed, small investors were ruined. The dream of rural stability was a cruel illusion, sold through slick marketing and national campaigns. Today, it's a textbook case of camouflaged financial fraud. It showed how traditional values and nostalgic imagery can be exploited to cloak deception. In rural Brazil, the echoes of this betrayal are still felt today. Finally, Telex Free, which offered VoIP services while running a textbook Ponzi scheme. Profits came not from services but new recruits. When it collapsed, thousands across Brazil and the US lost everything: motivational videos, luxury hotel events, and fake empowerment. Disguised the lie, it sparked international lawsuits and exposed the dark side of inspirational entrepreneurship. Telex Free left a global footprint of financial and emotional devastation. It illustrated the dangers of viral trust in a digital world. These 10 scams share one thing: they sold dreams wrapped as opportunities, delivering nightmares instead. They laid bare humanity's weakness for promises of easy success, and they all exploited the same flaw: our collective desire to believe in magic. Behind every shocking figure was a crowd willing to believe. The signs were often clear: guaranteed returns, influencer endorsements, a polished image. Yet the glow of success blinded judgment. Families lost savings, reputations shattered, entire systems were shaken, economies bent under the pressure of collective delusion. These stories prove luxury can be rented, fame can be faked, and success can be scripted. But truth, no matter how buried, will always rise. If this video struck a chord, share it. Someone you know could be the next target. And remember, real power lies in seeing the truth before it's too late.